Hey guys, I'm sorry. I know it's last minute greetings and blessings. I just wanted to share this with you all because sometimes we have friends that things happen to them, or people that we know crazy stuff happen to them, and they never think that they will find themselves being victim of crimes. But you got to be vigilant, people. I know right now it's really stressful on a lot of people, and it's like a lot of pressure because you got to really be watchful now. You can't just be so casual like you used to be, and you can't just take it that somebody you see walking in the store or walking through the parking lot is not somebody who isn't trying to hurt you. It's like everybody now, you kind of be suspicious of everybody now. It's pretty much like walking on hot coal and pins and needles and broken glass these days. And so, but these car thefts are getting outrageous. Like people are really getting killed. I mean, like unmercifully murdered, just even in an attempt to steal their vehicles. And believe you me that these people or these thieves, they're not just coming at people unprepared. No, they are well prepared, and they come in packs. Usually it just be maybe one, but they're coming like three plus deep. So you have to really have your ammunition ready. You can't just have a gun and not carry the gun. You have, I mean, not be scared to use the gun. If you have a gun, you got to make sure you're using that gun. Okay, don't be afraid to use your gun because they're not going to be afraid to use their gun on you to kill you and to take and to try to take whatever belongs to you that you worked hard for, that you on made honest living to buy and to and to enjoy. And I'm just going to give you guys some tips and give you guys some insight on how some of these thieves are stealing people's cars. And the thing about it is, the main kind of cars they really stealing primarily are Hellcats, Scat Pats, um, the Track Hawk, all of these type of cars. They're stealing them. And let me tell you, as expensive as these cars are, their security system sucks. Like they have their so-called alarm system, they suck. Not only that, these vehicles are real easy to break into. Okay, um, they're using the thieves. These thieves, some of them are using technology to their advantage. Some of them, instead of using guns and stuff, what they're using is their brain. So what they'll do is they'll be able to send a signal with a device that they can get from eBay to decode your alarm system or to deactivate your alarm system and to also get into your vehicle, decode your locks, and be able to unlock your doors to your vehicle and even crank it up and everything without a key and take your vehicle off and nobody would never know, especially like if you're sleeping or if you're inside of a store and you're not able to see your vehicle. It's easy for them to sneak and do that. Now what I do advise anybody who want to get these kind of high end vehicles, and the reason I say they high end because they are very expensive to maintain. The insurance on them is expensive. The car notes are expensive. So they are American made cars, but they have foreign price tags on them, foreign car price tags on them. Um, with that stated, you have to use more wisdom if you're going to get these kind of cars. One of the very first things you need to have is a gun, not one, have quite a few guns on you and have guns that can hold a nice amount of rounds because when you have people coming at you with AK-47s, and they're coming at you with other guns so they can just change the clip out really easily. You got to make sure that you have several rounds that you can fight off three or more people at one time, because again, they're coming in packs like wolves to rob and steal people's vehicles. So number one, get your behind a freaking gun. Get some guns, not one. Get guns, plural. Okay. If you scared of guns or you don't know how to operate them, take your ass to a gun range and learn how to shoot your gun, learn gun safety and all of that stuff. If you want to have these type, not and it's not even just these particular vehicles, but these are the most highest um stolen vehicles. That's why I'm listing them. So it doesn't matter what kind of vehicle you have. If you can have a Mercedes, you can have a Beamer, you can have an Audi, a Ranger, you know, Road Ranger. It doesn't matter. You got people out here that what it is three reasons why they're not why some of these people are stealing vehicles. For one, they're lazy as hell. Number one, lazy and sorry. Don't want to apply themselves. They don't want to go to school. They're rebellious. They're very defiant. They resist authority. And so they feel like instead of them working like other people and earn what they want, they'll just kill other people and steal from them. So number one, people who does that are lazy people. Two are people who have decided to live a criminal life and they have messed up their record, and it's hard for them to find good jobs that would pay them enough money to afford it themselves. So they decide that it'll be in their best interest to steal and to kill somebody and steal from them and take their stuff instead of changing their lives around, because now, since they have created this criminal record for themselves, it's going to be harder for them to get on their feet, and it's going to be more strenuous for them. So for them, they just feel like it's not worth it when they can just kill somebody and take their stuff. So that's reason number two. You got people who go around here stealing people's cars and killing people over their vehicles. Reason number three is some people are gangbangers and they just feel or they feel entitled. They feel entitled to be able to take your vehicles. Why not? I see it, I want it, I can have it. You just got people that's like that, very disrespectful, evil. So these are the three type people that steal other people's property and vehicles. They have absolutely no guam and absolutely no second thought about killing you for it, anybody for their vehicles. So you have to be very vigilant. You have to be watchful. So the number one way, well, I already said that one of the ways that they're doing this through electronic devices, where they can deactivate the alarm on the car, which it doesn't matter because a lot of them they don't work anyway. And they can also decode your or they can tap into your vehicle computer system and unlock your doors to start your vehicle. Okay, so those technology is one way that they're using. Second way that they're using to take people's vehicle is they just running up on them um, and killing them to take their vehicles. But these are some clever ways that they're doing it. They're watching you. Okay, they're targeting you. Even if you're not inside your vehicle, you could be inside of a store, a business, or what have you. If your vehicle is parked, let me tell you, they're not even caring that other people are around. So if you think because you park in a public area that um it's going to be safer, it's not, because they don't even care no more. But what you do want to make sure is if you're parking somewhere, make sure there it's well lit and it is very crowded. Like it's a very busy area where it'd be too many people for them to some stupid enough to still try it, and innocent people get hurt and killed behind it, and some of them just don't care. They feel like it's worth it. But make sure there's surveillance cameras. Look around and see if there are surveillance cameras on the local businesses, on the street, or what have you, in the area where you're parking, so that if for whatever reason, something like that happened, which I hope and really pray that it never happens to anybody. But we know the realization is at some point, sometime, someone, we don't know who, but we know somebody, unfortunately, is going to be victimized by these thieves and these crooks and murderers. So you have to make sure, look around your surroundings. Um, Another thing that they're doing is they're parking in spaces that in apartment complexes or in business complexes that may be designated to a particular person. Hi, how are you, Yardy? Hey, Doc. They're parking in places where in designated parking spaces. And the reason they're doing that, if they know that you drive a certain type of vehicle and they notice that you're parking in a particular spot, designated spot all the time, then they're going to put two and two together and they're going to know that spot is for you, is designated for you. So what they'll do is they'll park in that spot so that it can distract you. And when you're trying to figure out what's going on, because of course, you know, our natural reaction, we're trying to figure out who this vehicle is. Some people actually would just get out their car running and everything, keys still in the car, cell phone still in the car, get out, go to try, you know, to look at the tag number on the car to see, you know, if why this vehicle or look through inside the window of the vehicle to try to see if you can identify who that vehicle may belong to, um, or who they're visiting. And while you're doing that, because you're distracted, they'll hop into your vehicle and take off in it. So then you're out with you have no cell phone and you don't have a car. And if you have a weapon inside your car, that's going to be even worse because now they're going to have your cell phone, your weapon, and your car. So even if you wanted to try to defend yourself or try to get your car from them, they have your weapon now and they can turn around and use the weapon on you. So that's not a good situation. So you have to be vigilant. You have to be careful. A third way that they're victimizing people is if you, it's this, I would definitely say with women because I see this a lot with women. I understand we got to get our shopping done, especially single mothers or mothers. Period. If you have your child with you or your children with you, which they don't even care, if you have your child or children with you, they'll gun you down in front of your children. And if your child get in and tries to help, some of them will even gun down the children or just gun them down. Period, because they'll be a witness, be able to give the cop a description of who they are, how they look, and everything. So if you have to go to the store and you know you're going to have to get a lot of groceries, or you think that you might have to get a lot of groceries, first and foremost, try to have someone to babysit your children because you don't want to put them in that situation. Try to have somebody that can watch the children. Call a few friends. If you know some homeboys, you got uncles or cousins, male cousins, homeboys, you know, that is about that life and ain't scared. You know, if something pop off, they're not gonna be no punks. They're gonna be ready to throw hands or do whatever they got to do to defend. Then you need to have those kind of individuals with you when you go shopping, especially if you're going to be doing a lot of shopping or if you're going to be going shopping in a mall or something like that, because a mall is so spread out, the parking lots are so spread out. It's really hard for you to even see if somebody is watching you or has been watching you, especially if you're driving cars like Scat Pats, Hellcats, um, Track Hogs, and those type of vehicles. You're not going to even know that somebody is actually watching you until they are there trying to take your property. It got a gun to your face or to your back or to your neck or whatever. Um, so you have to really be careful and be vigilant. That's why, like, I know that a lot of people, if it depends on, I know at Lenox Mall they do valet parking. If you can afford a track hall, you should be able to afford some dang on valet parking. If you got a Hellcat, if you got any of those type of expensive vehicles, your ass should be able to afford valet parking. So have valet parking if you go to a mall if they offer that. If not, don't go. Try not to go to places that will make you very vulnerable because it is so widespread like that, and you can't see and don't know if somebody is sitting in their vehicle watching you or have been sitting in the vehicle watching you or is scooped down between cars waiting for you to come out, waiting for their opportunity to strike. You don't know that. So, like I said, I know it's terrible that we have to guard ourselves like that these days, but unfortunately, because the government has allowed crime and have allowed guns to enter to the streets as much as they have. Just about every crook now, if not all, have a gun. They have not just one gun, they have several guns. And they are running around together like a state, a pack of wolves. So, excuse me, because they feel like if it's more of them, even if you have a gun, it's more of them, and they all have guns, it's going to make you, drop your gun or, intimidate you more. So you have to be vigilant. You have to be careful if you have certain vehicles. And then even if you're not driving those kind of vehicles, if you're going shopping, you got to be careful with the stores that you're in because you don't know who's inside of those stores watching you, inside of the malls that's watching you go to these different stores and buy these high-end label items, buying, expensive kicks and sneakers out of the athletic store, sports stores. You don't know who is really watching you. So you can't just be so casual no more. We used to not have to worry about that. But unfortunately, we can't even just breathe when we go shopping anymore. If it's almost like it's safer to shop online to a degree, but some of these crooks, they're targeting, these couriers. And that's really dangerous, and scary that they're targeting couriers, USPS workers and stuff. They can't even just be safe delivering packages anymore without fearing that somebody's going to hold them up at gunpoint and make them, yeah, and steal the packages and stuff. So it's really, we're really living in a perilous time where you have to take initiative to protect yourself. You can't depend on the cops to do it. You can't depend on nobody else to do it. You have to be vigilant and be able to protect and do everything possible. Learn how to protect yourself at all costs, okay? At all costs, because they're not going to hesitate to shoot and kill you if they feel like it, or you don't even have to fight back. It's just the fact that you see them, they'll kill you because they don't want any witnesses. So because of that, you have to make sure that you're doing everything possible to protect yourself. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because, let me state it, sometimes we have loved ones or family members or friends that we would never imagine would experience such a thing. But when it happens, it does something to you, and it's cause you to have feelings and emotions that you probably would have never thought you would feel or have. Um, and it's a really scary feeling because you don't know if you're being hunted. It's like a predator watching its prey, and the prey has no idea that it's prey until it's preyed upon. And we unfortunately are living in that kind of society right now. So until it gets better, we have to take initiative to protect ourselves and our loved ones. And just don't be out laddygagging. Don't just sit around in your car, especially if you go to an ATM machine. One thing hmm, for me personally, it depends on how much money I need to get back. I'm not going to go to an ATM machine and get no money. I would do cash back at a Walmart or at a grocery store. I'd rather do that because it's more private than being at an ATM machine where you're stuck in between these barriers because you got another ATM machine over there, or you might have this, how they have the concrete wall there or stoop there, so you can't just drive up and get out because you're going to be, they have it set where your car is aligned and to stay straight in a certain space. Therefore, you can't just escape. So for me, I try not to ever use the ATM machine where I have to drive up to. I rather just do a cashback at the store. It's free. It's no extra charge to you. So just do that instead. Um, Another thing that you could do to try to avoid, or in hopes to avoid ever being victimized by these kind of people who like to steal and kill and take people property, is if you don't have to go nowhere, don't go. Keep your ass at home. You don't have to always go somewhere. If you go into a restaurant or if you go into a mall, you don't have to always park way out. Some people like to park way out, especially if they have a real nice car like Hellcat or something, a Scat Pack. They like to park out because they want to showcase their car, showboat, and they make themselves a serious target because you're right out in the opening and everybody's seeing what you have. So especially if you park, I would say where Lenox Mall is, there's a street area. It's a part that there's parts of the parking lot that's by the street where people just walk down the stairs and they can walk into the parking lot. Well, it'll be easy for someone to just come off the street and attack you if you park out and just out in the opening like that. So you got to be careful where you park as well. Try to park as close to the entrance of a building as possible and try to go, if you have to go out, try to go during a time where it's going to be extremely busy, where even if somebody wanted to do that, it would just be way too much flow of traffic of people for them to even pull it off, or even be able to formulate a to initiate their plan that they thought about or formulated, even if it's at the last minute. But we got to use wisdom and we got to use common sense. And something else that you guys could do to protect yourself, get a freaking look, people, please get surveillance systems, dash cams and stuff on your vehicle. You could get surveillance systems put on your vehicle. Yes, I know it's cost you money, but the best part about it, it'll be so rewarding because you could be at home or you could be inside of a building. Say you at a doctor's office and you up on the 15th floor and somebody's messing with your vehicle, you'll be able to look on the app and you'll get an alert first and foremost. So anytime somebody's around your vehicle, you're going to get an alert. So you'll get that alert. You'll be able to see individuals or whoever it is that's messing with your vehicle. You'll be able to sound your alarm. And if you in one of those parking garages, you know those alarms are very, very loud. So you'll be able to set your alarm off. And not only that, most of those type of apps have a panic button that when you just have to press it and it'll automatically call the police in that area. That's why you got to keep your location on because they're going to base it on a location that you're showing that is showing in your phone. So you want to make sure that you have your location on to that app for that surveillance system for your car. That way a cop can just come. You don't have to run downstairs and try to confront the person. Then it'll be safer for you. The app, when it calls, it'll call the cop for you. You can get a cop description of your vehicle and all of that stuff, to the dispatcher while the cops is there. And usually around hospitals and certain malls and stuff, cops are already around anyway or already on the premises. So that'll help out a lot too. So it'll be easier for them to catch, the suspect. So those are some things that you can do to protect yourself and to try to prevent yourself from being targeted um, by these brazen car thieves that are just killing people for their vehicles. And the saddest part about it is especially when they kill people, and then they don't even get a chance. They don't even get the vehicle. They can't even get the vehicle. So because the person, you know, has ammunition or that's able to fight back or gets, scared off. And now you got this person who's lost their life for absolutely no reason. It's just ridiculous that people are out here stealing and killing people over their property. But more and more, thieves are doing this. And most of the people that's doing this are people who have not done what they need to do for their lives. They're lazy as hell. They they choose to live a life of crime. They're very defiant to the law. They just don't want to work and apply themselves. They're lazy. They rather go out and steal and kill than to work for what they want. So we do have people that are like that out here in the world. So you have to be on guard, and you have to keep your eyes open, wide open, and you can never let your guards down when you're out and about. Never ever let your guards down. And mothers who have small children, um, especially babies, you have the car seat. In order to put your child in the car seat, you have to be attentive. So you're really in a very vulnerable position when you're putting your child, fastening your child in a car seat. Like I say, if possible, if you have to have your child with you or your children with you, especially when they're that small, have other people that can come with you, even if they don't ride in the same vehicle. Have them to be able to follow you or be there so that they can protect you and watch you. So you won't be an easy prey or be a prey at all to these predators out here doing all this crazy stuff. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say. And I'm gonna try to rest up again because I had to take a break because I was having the flare ups, and I'm still not feeling as well as I want to right now. Um, I'm getting sleepy because I had to take the pain medicine. So, but you guys just use common sense when you're out and about. Okay, please use your common sense, God given common sense, and be very watchful. Be very vigilant. Um, just don't have your hands so full where even if you have a weapon, you won't be able to access it because your hands are too full. Just be mindful and be watchful, and if possible, put wear Bluetooth so that you don't have to always you have your phone in your hand, and make sure you have your carrier has a feature where all you got to do is say help. T-Mobile has that feature. You can say help, or even the mobile device itself. Like if you have a iPhone, and it has the iPhone app has a feature on it where you can just say help, and it'll automatically call 911 for you, and it'll let them know where your location is. If you can't respond because you're struggling or with the person, or you're trying to get away from the person, it'll send a signal to let dispatch know where your location is. So with technology has advanced like that. So utilize it to your advantage. That way you can try to protect yourself as much as possible. So but that was it. I just wanted to share that because sometimes you get news or you learn about things to find out about things, and it really um it really bothers you and stuff because you don't who sits around and ever think that something like that would happen to a loved one or a friend, that they would be victimized like that. It's a good thing they got their vehicle back and it's alive, and it wasn't a fatality, but that's not the case for a lot of people. A lot of people, they don't get their vehicle back. And if they do get it back, it's not in one piece, it's damaged real bad or whatever. This person just decided they wanted, they was curious, they wanted to take a joyride. They wasn't trying to actually steal it to take it home with them. They just wanted to ride in, and they knew that they wouldn't have been able to ask the person. They'd be like, "Oh, sure, you can drive my car," because they don't know him. So instead, he decided he was going to just take the car. And I'm just like, people are just doing some really stupid stuff. But yeah. So you guys take care. Job, let's one love, peace, and I'm out like a light. Thanks for watching. Well, Instagram will never like to let me out. And I'm also on Facebook. So.